Hello, I'm Ed Graff, Superintendent of Minneapolis Public Schools. This week we paused to reflect on the unimaginable events of May 25th, 2020, when former MPD officer Derek Chauvin took the life of George Floyd by kneeling on Mr. Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. The trauma unleashed as the world watched the horrifying video was even greater here in Minneapolis, which soon became the epicenter for not only police reform, but truly realizing the phrase, Black Lives Matter. In the years since, we've wrestled not only with the aftermath of Mr. Floyd's death, but with the continued disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic, trying to restore neighborhoods ravaged by rioting last summer, and now increased gun violence in local neighborhoods that has taken the lives of far too many, especially our children. And while vaccines and the loosening of restrictions has brought renewed hope, the truth is that many watching this video have experienced and are still working through untreated trauma, dysregulation, and uncertainty. Just in the past few weeks, 3 young children were critically wounded by gunfire, and one, a kindergarten student at one of our MPS schools, has died. As a parent, the pain of having to bury your child instead of preparing to attend their kindergarten promotion ceremony is something too horrible to consider. And yet, for too many families in our district and our city, the unthinkable has become reality. Every student and former student lost to violence this year, and there have been more than I have ever experienced in a district this size. Every student leaves a hole in our hearts. Every staff, student, or family member lost to COVID over the last 18 months has left a void. Loss permeates our stories. Some may be wondering why I'm choosing to focus my remarks on these difficult societal issues. It's because we do not educate students in a bubble. Students and staff are deeply affected by the events in the world around them. When they enter their classrooms or offices, there's no magic switch to shut off the challenging emotions, distractions, and fears they've been carrying. Let's be honest. The past 18 months have, for better or worse, affected teaching and learning in MPS. It would be foolish of us to hide our heads in the sand and adopt an attitude of, this too shall pass. The issues we face as a community are daunting. They are larger than any one of us. MPS has a specific role to play to improve conditions in our city. And I'm convinced we must also engage with a larger collective network to make things better holistically for our students, staff, and families. Here's how I think we can start to make things better. We can lend our support and influence on those locally, statewide, and nationally, both elected and grassroots leaders who are trying to make our communities safer. For example, I met just this past weekend with Northside leaders to see if together we can help to identify solutions to curb the escalating and random violence. We can provide the mental and emotional support to our staff and students who are suffering the effects of the pandemic, still grieving the death of Mr. Floyd, or feeling the physical and emotional effects of our community's increasing violence. Mental health supports have repeatedly been lifted up as a way to effectively spend new emergency COVID dollars MPS is receiving from the federal government. We're also planning to replicate our very successful Southside Family Resource Center in North Minneapolis. We can use the resources we have to keep our schools, classrooms, and playgrounds as safe as they can be. We've made some capital changes and transportation changes as part of our comprehensive district design geared specifically to student safety. With the new federal dollars I just mentioned, we have another opportunity to review options to further increase safety. We can provide our students with the kind of education that elevates their hope for the future and reduces the chances that they will ever pick up or be near a gun for violent purposes. This summer, for example, we're looking forward to partnering with community organizations across the city to provide tutoring and other academic supports to students. And we've expanded our summer scholars and super summer offerings to help prepare students for fall after a year of pandemic learning. From the adults who are watching this video, I ask one thing: be there for our students. Even in the face of our own very real grief, we must look first to the needs of our students. We've just highlighted a page on our MPS website that will take you to information on how we can all support our students. Read through it. Think about the questions the youth in your life might have. Ask for help and support when you need it. We aren't going to change everything overnight, but we can be there for our children with love, courage, and honesty. Thank you for watching.